So, Arn, we'll move on here and we'll get to some more of the questions as we go. But following that match with Johnny B. Bad, Mean Gene, good old Mean Gene, conducts an interview with Johnny B. Bad, and they discuss the controversial finish of the match. And Gene calls over Randy Anderson, your longtime friend, who declares, "Hey, I'm sorry, Gene. The decision stands." Gene decides to let the fans know you need to call the hotline, 1-900-909-9900. Kids, get your parents' permission and demand that you give Bad a rematch, Arn. Gene's demanding it. We've never really discussed the 900 number. God, did I ever tell you the story about the time I called the 900 number at my grandmother's house and she found the bill? It didn't go over real well in our house.
It did not bode well, I imagine.
No, it involved me walking out to a tree and breaking off a stick kind of thing. Know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yes. I know all about getting beat with a limb off of a tree. My granny was a big fan of that.
Yeah, the old switch is what they used to call it.
Boy, it would cut your legs up. Stung.
That shit don't fly nowadays. I'll tell you that right now.
That's definitely child abuse.
So let's talk about the 900 line though before we get canceled. So the 900 number. Did you like the idea of wrestlers paying fans information that may or may not have been true on the hotline? What'd you think of that whole gimmick?
Well, number one, since no one paid close enough attention to see it was not a 1-800 number, which we all know is toll free.
There you go.
Take a good long look at Gene Okerlund. Is he not the ultimate shyster and shady guy? He's selling you a number on a screen, and if you don't just turn the channel, it's on you. Because Mean Gene is the king of shysters. Now, I never called the 900 number, mind you. Nor does anyone that I know have called the 900 number, but apparently some people did and weren't necessarily happy with what they found. Some, I'm sure, were thrilled and overwhelmed. What are your thoughts?
Well, now you do know someone that called the 900 number, and you talk to them every other week here on your channel.
So was it a live conversation with Gene Okerlund?
Yeah, no, it wasn't live. It was a pre-recorded news update, and you know, a little. I guess they call it clickbait now, but he'd give you just enough to keep you coming back. And he had set this deal up with Eric, and it was, you know, he was able to make and keep that money. Did you know that was his deal that he had, kind of a side hustle going on there?
I did not.
Yeah.
Well, now it looks a little more interesting. See, I told you Gene was a gangster.
Yeah. Gene knew what he was doing, man. He had that whole gimmick figured out. So
one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah,
Gene Okerlund. Did you get to meet him in person?
I did. I got to meet him once. He was here local in Philly at a autograph signing, and I got to meet him and say hi and thank him for all the childhood memories and all the hard work. So glad I got to meet him before he passed.
Just the tone of his voice would make you smile, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
Goosebumps. Yeah. It's everything wrestling as a kid. There's only a handful of guys like that. Howard Finkel, Mean Gene Okerlund, and a few others. But Fink's another one. The way he introduces or announces folks winning wrestling matches. Gordon Soley,
Gary Capetta was
Gary Michael Capetta. Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.